Oh, Shalom. Shalom. Ahab wa Baraka. Going down over here. We got all hell breaking loose across the street. But we're gonna go ahead. Here's my car. Right here. Maybe right here. Alright, guys. Akyam wa akwa. Let's get right into it. Call halala Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukwapidad. Double honors to all the elders, the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers that bring you this 100% truth. And today's class is going to be called Another Satisfying End Time Prophecy. So we're going to go ahead and get into the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. We're going to read the whole chapter. So let's get right into it. Isaiah chapter 29, starting from the top. Woe to Ariel, the city where David dwelt, and to ye years to years, year to year, let them kill sacrifices. So when it says the word Ariel, it's a symbolic name for Jerusalem or Israel. So when you're reading Ariel in the Bible, it's actually talking about the city of Jerusalem. Where did David dwell? What city did he dwell in? He dwelt in the city of Jerusalem. Yet I will distress Jerusalem, Ariel, and there shall be heaviness and sorrow, and it shall be unto me as Ariel. Because Jerusalem is in heaviness and sorrow because they stopped following the instructions that they were given by Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Verse 3, and I will camp against thee round about, and will lay siege against thee with a mountain, and I will raise forts against thee. So the word raise in this context, you got to understand, it's talking about to come in the season, or to become powerful. Okay, so if you read it with that context, instead of using the word raise, you're going to say, and I will camp against thee round about, and I will lay siege against them with a mountain, and I will become powerful forts against them. It makes more sense now. Powerful fort, an army. There's going to be powerful armies against the children of Israel. Verse 4, and thou shalt be brought down, and shalt speak out of the ground, and thy speech shall be low out of the dust, and thy voice shall be as if one that hath a familiar spirit, which means demons. So in the Bible, when it's talking about familiar spirits, if it's saying that you have a familiar spirit, it's saying you have a demon on you. So, as one that hath a familiar spirit, out of the ground thy speech shall whisper out of the dust. Will be brought very low. No one will ever want to listen to what we have to say because we didn't keep the laws. So according to Deuteronomy 28 and 15, let me just get it. Deuteronomy chapter 28, KJV. Deuteronomy chapter 28, KJV. I'm going to skip right up to verse 15, proving that this is a product of us not keeping the laws. Verse 15, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. So, by not keeping the law, according to our oppressor, all the laws are done away with, so we don't have to keep them. But according to the Bible, they're not done away with, and we're suffering curses to this day because we didn't keep them. So, let's prove that we're being brought down to a low estate, and our voice is in the dust. In other words, no one's going to listen to us. But listen to this. Let's jump up to verse 43. So we'll stay in the book of Deuteronomy. We're going to go to verse 43 real quick. And the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. So it's telling you right away that that we're going to be at the bottom. No one's going to listen to us, and everybody, all of our oppressors and every other nation will be above us, because Yahweh Hashem Yahushai gave the children of Israel's laws, statutes, and commandments to keep, and we refused to keep them. In fact, we were more interested in following and worshiping the gods of the other nations, which are false gods, and now we're paying the judgment for that. That's why we're being cursed. We're not keeping our laws, we're keeping their laws. Their laws don't work for us. So let's go back over into the book of Isaiah. We'll go back into the lexicon. And we'll pick up where we left off at verse 5. Moreover, the multitude of thy strangers will be of thy strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible one shall be chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant, suddenly. At an instant, suddenly. So what is it talking about? It's saying that when everybody gets taken out, it's going to be in a second. In fact, let me just get it. Isaiah chapter 66, KJV. Let's go down to verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. So in that instant, suddenly, in a second, all this stuff's going to happen at once. Let me get 16. For by fire and by his sword the Lord will plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So he's telling you in Isaiah 29, he's getting ready to take you out for not keeping the laws as an Israelite. As the other nations for oppressing the Israelites, he's telling you, I'm going to take you out. And it's all going to happen like in the blink of an eye. So the reason why it hasn't happened yet is because all the prophecies have to line up and they have to be fulfilled correctly. It's not just like, well, this hasn't happened. You know, there's a timeline in which Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is going to run by. So no matter what we think or what we believe, we have to go by what the truth is, and he's going to set the time, and that's when everything's going to go down. In fact, let me get Matthew real quick. Wait, let me read verse. Let's go back to Isaiah chapter 29 again. Moreover, let's go back to 5 again. Moreover, the multitude of my strangers shall be like small dust, and the multitude of the terrible one shall be as chaff that passeth away. Yea, it shall be at an instant, suddenly. Thou shalt be visited of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai with thunder, with earthquakes, with great noise, with storm and tempest, and the flame of devouring fire. Now let's go back over to Isaiah 66. Now let's read verse 15 and 16 again. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots. That's the spaceships everybody's talking about. So the Bible's actually telling you that he's coming in ships, and with his chariots like a whirlwind. A whirlwind is like a tornado. And in the scriptures, when it says whirlwind, it's like a tornado. To render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. The sword. Now we know that the chariots are going to come and put fire on us, but what about the sword? It says in, I think it's in the book of Genesis, that Esau would have the fatness and the dew of the earth, and he would conquer the earth with his sword. So this conqueror that has taken over everything we know and love by violence is actually Esau. And the Most High said that he's going to use Esau all the way until the end to bring forth judgment. So in the end, when Yahweh brings the chariots and they start to rain down fire, Esau's going to be fighting against other nations. And they're going to stop fighting each other, and they're going to shoot their arrows at the Most High and the Shabbat, which is the Lord of hosts. So it's all got to work in a certain order and fashion, and it's happening. And it's slowly, one step at a time. So now, we know that there's going to, let me read it again, because go back to Isaiah 29 and let's read 6 again. Thou shalt be visited by the Lord of hosts with thunder, with earthquakes, with great noise. And the great noise is the riots, the uprising of the people, disagreeing with the government and fighting back. That's the great noise. It's the actual people, not the armies, but the nations that are in disagreement. So, great noise with storm and tempest and flame of devouring fire. Let's get a precept on that. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 24. And we're going to read verse 3, because what happened is, when he was finished teaching, the disciples came up to him privately, asking, when was it going to be? Let me read it. Now, so they're up and they're asking privately, when is the world going to end, and when is it going to be the sign of thy coming? So let's get that. Verse 3, Matthew 24 and 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world? So let's see what the Bible says the end of the world is. Let's jump down to verse 7. Let's start at verse 6. You know what, let's start at 5 and we'll read through 7. Well, we got to get the point. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. That's happening. Shalom, Asmo. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So Yahushua is literally quoting what was being said in Isaiah, telling you that this is the sign, this is what's going to happen. We're living in that right now. This morning, there was a 7.4 earthquake in the ocean right off of the coast of Alaska. And now there is a tsunami warning going out for Anchorage, Alaska. Just letting you know. There's wildfires, there's floods, everything you can think of is happening at once, and it's happening right now. The Most High is telling us something. I am coming to visit you. I'm looking at you again. Get your mind right. Get your mind right. Spiritually reattach yourself to the Most High, or be burned as chaff. Let me keep going. We're gonna go back to Isaiah. back into chapter 29. We'll pick up where we left off at verse 7. Because in Matthew, I told you, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, everybody's going against each other. So let me get that, because that precept actually goes with the next verse. I forgot. So let me get it. This is Isaiah 29:7. And the multitude of nations shall fight against Ariel. What did I tell you the word Ariel was? The word Ariel is a symbolic name for Jerusalem or Israel. Now listen carefully. Indeed, all that fight against her, I forget how to say it, Munchen, and that distress her shall be as a dream of a night vision. Let me keep going. It shall indeed be as when a hungry man dreameth, and behold, he eateth, but he awaketh, and his soul is empty. Or when a thirsty man dreameth, and beholdeth, he drinketh, but he awaketh, and behold, he is faint, and has no soul, and his soul hath no appetite. So shall the multitude of the nations that fight against Mount Zion. So it's telling you that if you think that you can win, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. It's going to be like Godzilla versus Bambi. You cannot win against the Shabbat, the Lord of hosts, Yahweh's army. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. And if you think you're going to win, like I said, let's get a precept. Isaiah chapter 54. Starting at verse 52. I'm sorry, Isaiah. Wait. My bad. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up. It's 1 Corinthians. Sorry about that. I was looking in the wrong spot. Chapter 15, verse 52. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trump shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. So at the same time, in that same instant, when fire starts raining down on this earth, listen carefully. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, in that last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must be put on incorruptible, and this mortal must be put on immortality. Like your superheroes in the movies, we will be made immortal. How do you think we're going to rise up into the clouds? I'll get that in a second. For this corruptible must put on incorruptible, and mortal must be made immortal. So when this corruptible shall have put on incorruptible, and this mortal shall have put on immortality, then shall be brought to pass the saying that was written, death is swallowed up in victory. Now, I hope you guys can understand what I just said there. Let me get another really quick precept on that. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 4. I think it's 4 and 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. I'm sorry. I take that back. Not Proverbs, man. I'm going crazy right now. We're going to the book of Revelation. And we're going to go to chapter 11. And I told you, because after we've been made immortal, and we've been made incorruptible, and we conquer death, listen carefully, we're just going to skip right to the point. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. So everybody talking about the people bringing out the 100% truth, the real elder apostles, the real prophets, the real teachers. You're going to watch us rise into the clouds. We're doing our job. We're showing our faith through our works, and nothing's going to stop us. So when the corruptible has been made incorruptible and the mortal has put on immortality, we're going to be risen right back up into the clouds according to Scripture. According to what the Scriptures say, not what man says, because man says, "Oh no, that's not going to happen. That already happened." Blah 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 blah. But let's go ahead and move on and go back over to the book of Isaiah, chapter 29. So you know now that at the same time, when all of the wicked 2/3 and the other nations are going to get destroyed, right at that same moment and that same instant, we're going to be taken up into the kingdom, being made immortal, incorruptible. So keep that in mind. This is a satisfying end time prophecy. This is satisfying to me, knowing that our enemies will be dealt with. And don't worry, you 2/3. All Israel will be saved. I'll get to that, but you are going to have to die a horrific death for not following the instructions. Let's go back into Isaiah chapter 29. Oops. And let's keep reading. All right, starting at verse 9. Stay yourselves and wonder, cry ye out and cry. They are drunken, but not from wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahweh hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes. The prophets and your rulers and the seers hath he covered. So he's saying because our spiritual leaders refused for all these years, they've had all these years to tell the truth, and all they've done is take money from people. And he's saying, since you're only going to take everybody's money and you're not going to teach what this book really says, I'm going to make it so you don't understand the book at all. Let me prove it. You don't understand this book. This book was written for us, the righteous ones, the 1/3, the 144,000 within the 1/3. And by the time you guys figure out it was written for you too, you're going to be walking around asking for oil for your lamp so you can light your path, and no one's going to help you. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. If you're not going to study and get enough wisdom to see what's going on around you in these end times, then when it is time for things to go down, you're not going to know what to do. And you're going to think people are going to stop saving their own life to save yours. You're crazy. But the wise virgins, where are they going? I already showed you. Corruptible being made incorruptible, mortal being made immortal, called up into the chariots in the clouds. We're going to watch you guys burn. It's that simple. It's literally written in the book, but they refuse to teach the book. They don't want to teach the book because the book says that they're wicked. The book literally tells you that your church pastor's wicked. He'll skip that verse every time because he's not supposed to take your money, is he? No, that money is for the fatherless children and the widowed mothers. The pastor can take an alms, but what we're really supposed to give them is food. Because if you ever read the Levitical law, the only person supposed to be teaching this book are the Levites. And the Levites lived on the outskirts of town. They weren't given a blessing like the other 12 tribes. So you would take food to these Levites who taught the Bible. You wouldn't take money to them. Money does not give you sustenance for life. It's the truth. They are not supposed to be taking money. That's why nobody's getting any kind of spiritual help in this world. It's not going to happen. This place is doomed. This place is done. It's already written in stone, and it's already started happening. These are the beginnings of sorrows.
Hi.
Shalom.
Shalom. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I agree with you. 100%.
Okay.
Hi. I just want to tell you that.
Well, thank you.
Because I'm good. And I can say that.
No, you
I
can't.
agree with you. Would you like a Coke?
No, thank you. I don't think so.
Oh, it's delicious.
Yeah, but it's
I wish I could find.
it's filled with chemicals that are poisonous to us, which cause cancer.
But they're from the earth.
The chemicals that are in the Coke,
They're from Earth.
but the way they put them together cause cancer. If you were to go to Mexico, there's like a whole community of people that actually worship Coca-Cola. The Coca-Cola company owns the water in this portion of Mexico, and these people have no access to the water, but they give them Coca-Cola. And now they're getting amputated and they're dying of diabetes. All these fucked up things are happening to the people because of the soda. And you know what Coke does? Nothing. Does nothing for these people. Nothing. And so when they die, it's like the woman's a shaman, and she's sprinkling Coke over the dude that died from drinking Coke. So I don't drink any soda at
How
all.
old are you?
50.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm 48.
She's 48. I'm 50.
I'm 48. You're 50.
Yeah.
And you did no Coke, and I did Coke.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I'm just saying.
But I'm gonna get back into this lesson. If you
For
like
sure.
to listen, I don't mind.
But don't stand in front of the camera.
Yeah, go start.
Do the Coke.
But anyway, going back into it, guys. Going back into it. Let's pick up where we left off. Isaiah chapter 29 and 9. Stay yourselves and wonder and cry out and cry, ye drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. For Yahweh hath poured out upon you the spirit of deep sleep, and hath closed your eyes, the prophets and your rulers and the seers hath he covered. I mean, you just can't make this shit up. And the vision of all is become unto you as words in a book. You know what? Watch this. Watch this. No, I'll keep going. I have a breakdown on this that's really, really interesting, but we're going to stick to this for today. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he saith, I cannot, for it is sealed. Why? Because he took the understanding away from you. It's not sealed. I'm in this book all day, every day. I can break down any verse just like my elders, just like the other teachers, just like the other prophets and disciples even. And disciple means student. Even the students out here can do what I'm doing. So you guys got to understand something here. Hold on. It might be overheating, so I might have to finish this class